Please go ahead. Start.
The mountains, although being struck by torrents of rain during the rainy season, are not shaken, just as those whose hearts are dedicated to the transcendental personality of Godhead are never disturbed, even when harassed by great misfortune. Because a person who is spiritually advanced accepts any adverse condition of life as the mercy of the Lord, he is completely eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom. Even though a person takes to the devotional service of the Supreme Lord, he may sometimes become diseased, impoverished, or disappointed by life's events. A true devotee of the Lord always considers these sufferings to be due to past sinful activities, and thus, without being disturbed, he patiently awaits the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Such devotees are compared to high mountains, which are never agitated in any way, even when struck by powerful torrents of rain in the rainy season. Rather, such devotees remain humble in spiritual enlightenment. Free from pride and envy, they easily gain the mercy of the Lord and go back home, back to God.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Vadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitanamani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat. There is a beautiful comparison here. In Hindi language they say wo parvat hai, he is a mountain. Sometimes they say mountain of faith. The similes and analogies are used. Sometimes they would say he is as tall and strong as a mountain. A mountain is used a lot for the analogy of strength, steadiness, determination, like that. So here in the example given, that invariably you are asked to be a constant and watch flux around you. You know, flux, a moving field, and constant change. And remain steady and not become part of the change, but become part of the constancy, means the permanency. We were just there in Ganges. We were visiting Agastya Muni's cave and Arundhati's cave, his wife's cave. And it's a very beautiful scenery in the Himalayas. And big gushing Ganges flowing. So beautiful was it that everybody was drawn to go to the Ganges. Although they were telling, get into the bus, nobody listened. Who's going to miss this scene? And they went into this thing. It was so beautiful that some devotees just went into the Ganges, took off this thing, put on their towels and went into the Ganges. But what we saw everywhere is solid, huge rocks and the flowing Ganges. and the rocks are not moving. The water is moving very swiftly around the rock. And the rocks have become smoothened and rounded because of the flowing Ganges, which is eroding the rock. But the rock has become so smooth. And there are various colors. I shot some pictures. They're violetish, reddish, purplish, blue, gray, black, with white streaks and yellow streaks, looks yellow stones, all sorts of colors. I remembered exactly something like this there. I said that devotees of the Lord, they retain their individuality. They retain their constancy. I will not depart from my position as a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, as eternally a servant of the Lord. I will remain doing my seva. I will remain doing my sadhana. I will not get affected by the surrounding that is constantly moving and is in a flux. I will remain constantly fixed in my belief, in my faith in Krishna consciousness, in my sadhana, and such things. In this way, a devotee becomes smoothened. All the rough edges in him disappear. And he becomes smooth, colorful, and radiant in Krishna consciousness. These, I wanted to maybe make a video there. I thought it's so interesting and exciting to watch the smooth stones and rocks and everywhere. So I was standing on one of these rocks and the water was flowing around me. It was flowing very swiftly, very deep current. So in the changing world, everybody gets carried away. Mostly people get carried away. They try to hang on to something, but that doesn't work, and they get carried away. But a devotee is compared to a mountain, which nobody can push, neither wind nor water. At the most, you can affect the mountain and erode some portions of the mountain. But even that, the devotee takes it to his advantage. And whatever erosion happens, whatever experience he has, he learns from it and he becomes a better person. Because he is fixed in Krishna consciousness. The effect of something happening materially in the changing world to a constancy-oriented devotee is that he becomes smoothened. The gain is that he becomes materially more adept and he becomes spiritually more fixed. In other words, the other side is we must welcome these type of changes that affect or try to affect us. And in the process, we should actually make ourselves well-rounded. We should take advantage of the current. So around us, you always see a changing world, constantly in flux. Material nature is in constant flux. So these are very interesting points, because in real life, you will say it is about you and your response to what happens to you. Prabhupada was saying, yesterday morning I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture, and he was speaking about Bhagavad Gita. He said, simple thing people don't understand. Krishna is explaining to Arjuna that the winter and the season and the summer seasons, they come. And he is explaining that the person who is constant will not be disturbed by this or that. He explaining, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkha Daha Agama Payino Anityastam Stitiksha Swabharata. Titiksha means tolerance, patience, capability to withstand some onslaught on you. This, he says, if you practice, then the coming and going of the summer and winter seasons are not very consequential. In other words, they don't really affect you very much, right? So I found that very interesting. Prabhupada made a comment that it's all about you and how you respond to the changes in this world. If you develop tolerance, titiksha, right, then with knowledge and tolerance and capacity to understand why these things happen to us in this world, we don't take that very seriously. So the mountain is very strong, very huge, and can weather all sorts of attacks. To compare a devotee to a mountain is a very interesting analogy. Many times in our life, we get affected, we get swept away by the things happening around us, the current. The current actually takes us away. And then we do certain things, this one, that one, and then we regret it. We don't, know how to focus on what is important. That's why what is important is our spiritual advancement. What is important is our spiritual life. When you simply focus on that, you will not allow anything else to affect you. If you concern yourself with material things that constantly are changing, there is no limit to you being engaged in material life. Because they'll constantly change, and every time it changes, you keep attending to it. In this way, you'll get addicted, attached, and absorbed in material life. I was just trying to find out, how does this work on the phone? I was asking, we said, now they have changed it. It's like this. On WhatsApp, you can do this. But previously, 6 months back, it was something else. But it constantly keeps changing, and you have to adapt yourself. Otherwise, after some time, you can't use it. So I was thinking that I think at some point of time, I'll stop using all these things because they take a lot of time. You have to keep up with technology constantly. In other words, I get absorbed in what is the version, let's download it, let's upgrade it, and then they install the new app. They keep us engaged. And by the time you do that, half an hour is gone. And by in the next, 1 month, 2 months, they'll again change it. And again, you have to download. Again, you have to do again. I said, I don't want my time to be utilized by some other company. And they say that they provide more facility, this thing, that thing. But I don't know. I'm not really very much using some of those facilities. So I was wondering, we use so many apps and we have to constantly upgrade those apps and we have to keep them there. Otherwise, because yesterday somebody was telling, can you download this app? It's got all Prabhupada's books and all that. They told me that, no, my OS operating system in my phone, it does not accept that because it's of an older version than the app. And the app won't function. I said, what's the use of this guys making all these things? No, it's like that. I have to upgrade this thing. And then only it will work. And I said, in the process, we have discussed this and also we have spent about 10-15 minutes trying to understand. And in this way, our time goes. Because whenever you attend to the changing things in this world, your time just goes. So much time is lost from constancy. So much time is lost from chanting Hare Krishna, from doing devotional service and everything. Of course, sometimes we need to do some of these things to keep up with the preaching and the institutional services and everything that we need to do. But over a long period of time, you feel that hereafter I'm not going to bother about this. In fact, I'm not going to use this at all. You don't need to use this. I am thinking that time is going to come. And I don't want to be spending my time fiddling on the phone and worrying about the fact that this is not upgraded, that is not upgraded, or whatever. Who cares? If we are able to chant Hare Krishna, if we are able to do the basic important things in life with focus, that should take care of everything else. At some point of time, we have to say enough is enough. Parikshit Maharaj said enough is enough. He understood that Shringi's curse means I have to focus on the constant aspects of my life, the permanent aspects of my life. And he took this decision at an early age. Many people take these decisions at a later age. How to become a mountain should be a decision we take as early as possible. Because it's not easy to go around becoming a mountain at later portions of your life. Right? So these are interesting lessons that the light of the Bhagavata is teaching us. Constancy and versus flux. How we deal with the flux and remain constant, or how we get washed away by the flux and stop being constant or fixed and permanent. These are challenges. In life, we are always encountered by these things. We should learn how to fix ourselves and remain constantly fixed and in Krishna consciousness, whatever may happen otherwise. I heard that Prabhupada would travel across time zones. He will adjust himself very fast. And the servant would find it. Prabhupada arrived yesterday and he came from a different time zone. So maybe he'll not be able to sleep in the night because I want to sleep. And the fellow is, the servant is busy sleeping in the daytime, thinking that Prabhupada also will, according to the time, this thing lag and, he's got a jet lag or something. But Prabhupada was up the next morning and he asked, where is my breakfast? But the other devotee was thinking that he has to arrange his breakfast only after 24 hours. It's very amazing. But Prabhupada instantly adjusted himself. Isn't that amazing? And then he said, I was very surprised. And then the other servant told him he always does that, Prabhupada. He adjusts himself very fast. Time lag, that, this, no, he doesn't see. It's sunlight up, he works according to the sunlight. Sunrise, where's my breakfast? He goes according, the clock for him is not what he sees on his wrist. The clock for him is the sunrise and the sunset. In the new place, the sunrise and the sunset is happening. I should eat at that time. And the body automatically gets adjusted. Prabhupada was adjusting to the time lag much faster than other devotees were adjusting across time zones. I thought that it's very interesting. So constancy, always putting ourselves in the constant mode of depending on Krishna, performing our devotional service, and not getting swept away by the current of constantly changing material world. Think about it. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. Any question or comment? I am in Jaipur. We just landed here early in the morning. And we are getting ready to go to Radha Govindji Mandir. And they asked me yesterday, will you be doing Fantastic Friday? I said, yeah. For me, every day is fantastic. But they have chosen to call only Friday fantastic. That's okay with me. I can be with you during your Fantastic Friday and share some wisdom that I've gained from Prabhupada's books and from his wonderful movement all over the world.